Hello, it is now the month of March, and I am on reserve this month. Hello, my name is Darren. I'm a dad. I'm an airline pilot. I'm a husband of a scientist, growing a good beard because I haven't flown in a while. And I bid short call reserve this month. This will be a short video about what is reserve. And it's not for every airline. Every airline has their own rules on reserve. I'm talking about the rules I operate under my employer. So I did bid short call reserve this month. There are two kinds of reserve, short call and long call. Keeping it really simple. For short call reserve, I get fewer than 12 hours of notice before I have to be at the airport. That's it. For long call, you get more than 12 hours notice before you have to be at the airport. Not departure time, just the time I am expected to be at the airport to prepare for a flight. So with short call reserve where I am now, it's pretty easy. When I bid for this last month, I bid for reserve, and I bid for short call reserve. I bid for reserve, then I asked to be short call reserve. And with short call reserve, I get a wrap time. It's a reserve availability period time. It's a time that I'm going to be expected to respond to an attempt from scheduling to contact me about a flight assignment. I'm being very wordy on purpose. So, we have various times, and the times that your wrap time starts depends on your fleet and where you're based and yada yada yada. These are the times I was able to pick from for my fleet for this month for my base. I picked 6 a.m. You might be thinking, Darren, that's crazy to be 6 in the morning. Well, Darren, I live close to the airport, and by me picking a 6 a.m. report time, I can kind of protect myself from doing these super late night flights, which I don't want to do. Like the flight to Buenos Aires, Argentina for my base leaves at like 10 o'clock at night, and it's an all-nighter down to Argentina. Argentina, wonderful country. I don't care for the flight times. And the flight back is also an all-nighter. So by me having a 6 a.m. wrap time, it limits how long I can work that day. And the limits fall under FAR 117 and what kind of crew, how many people I have on my crew, and more than that. But keeping it simple, 6 a.m. means I can't work that late. I cannot work the flight to Argentina. So let's give an example of a short call reserve assignment. So let's say it's a flight leaving to Narita at 10 a.m. That means it's a 9 a.m. report time. First Officer Brian at 10:30 at night says, man, this head cold's not clearing. I can't operate this flight tomorrow. He contacts scheduling and says, this is First Officer Brian. I cannot operate my flight tomorrow. I'm calling in sick. Didn't have to tell him what's wrong. He just said, I'm calling in sick, actually. It's okay, we'll put you down sick. Feel better. Then they start looking for a replacement pilot. Now, being at 10:30 at night, they can't call a long call pilot anymore because it's fewer than 12 hours notice before the report time, unless they delay the flight. That's a whole different topic. So now they're looking for a short call pilot. Now with the wrap times I listed earlier, it's coming to a 6 a.m. report person, right? 6 a.m. wrap, so a 6 a.m. wrap person. And there's a hierarchy of assignments and the way things are doled out, and that's a whole different topic. But they're going to contact one of those pilots. And right now we have an electronic way of contacting us, and we can opt in to letting them know about the flight as soon as possible, even while we're sleeping, or not until our wrap period starts. For me, I have it set up for when my wrap period starts. So they might say, okay, First Officer Bird, he's operating this, we're giving him this assignment to Narita tomorrow at 11 p.m. the night before. They hit a button, it gets put on my schedule, and because I have the notification turned off, for letting me know during my rest, nothing happens until 6 in the morning. Then my work iPad goes off making a noise, saying there's been an assignment added to your schedule, 9 a.m. report time, you're going to Narita. Something to that effect. Now, on the flip side, I could, if I wanted them to let me know, because let's say I lived 2 hours from base, right? Or maybe 3 hours from base. Maybe I want to know while I'm sleeping of an assignment right away, because they could give me an assignment with a 9 a.m. report time. And maybe I need the extra time to get ready, to get in the car, to drive to base, to be there by the report time. But for me, being local, I don't want to know until I have to know. So I get notified at 6 a.m. that I have an assignment on my schedule. Now, as far as how long I have to get to the airport, where I currently work, there is no defined time. It is a reasonable amount of time. So in this same scenario, my iPad goes off at 6 in the morning. I'm expected to be there at 9 o'clock in the morning. 3 hours, that's pretty reasonable for where I live right now in the Dallas area. But if I was in New York, 3 hours might be the bare minimum, right? And let's say I need 3.5 hours, 4 hours. Well, I just get there as safely and quickly as I can. Now, what about long call reserve, right? How does long call work? Well, let's have a similar scenario, okay? So it's the same flight to Narita, leaving at 10 a.m. with a 9 a.m. report time. But now, First Officer Brian at 6 in the evening is like, man, this head cold ain't going away. I'm gonna down some NyQuil and I'm just gonna kill this cold. He calls scheduling at 6:30, say, hey, First Officer Brian, I'm calling in sick for tomorrow for my trip to Narita. So, okay, First Officer Brian, feel well. Now they start contacting long call pilots. Now, I could bid long call or short call, right? Even though I live close to the airport, I could do either one. And some people that live close to the airport prefer long versus short, but I'm a short call guy. But let's say they call a long call pilot. They contact a long call pilot. Now, unlike my wrap time of 6 in the morning, a long call pilot can be contacted at any point they want to, right? So they can contact them right at 7 p.m. and say, hey, we have an assignment for you tomorrow morning with a 9 a.m. report time. And that's legal. Now they have 12 hours to rest for the flight and get to the airport and operate the trip. And it's up to the pilot to get there on time. One beauty of being an airline pilot or working for an airline as flight crew members, you can live anywhere you want to in the world. So if this long call pilot happened to live in Des Moines, Iowa, great. He says, okay, I have to be there tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock. Great. So he starts looking at flights to get there by 9 a.m. There's a 5:30 flight that gets him to Dallas at 7:45 in the morning. It's an hour and 15 minutes before he has to be there. Life is good. So the next day he goes to the airport, commutes down to Dallas, gets to Dallas, hour and 15 minutes prior, signs in for his trip, and he goes. But what if he gets to the airport, to commute down to Dallas, and the flight gets delayed or even canceled, right? Well, we have something called a commuter policy. And the commuter policy varies by airline and what the rules are, because I talked to my friends at other airlines and their commuter policies are not as good as where I work at now. For the commuter policy, you just have to have one flight that will get you there on time. That's it. If you can't get there on time, well, tell the airline, hey, I'm using my commuter miss, and you will be out money, but there's no harm to the pilot as far as you're not going to lose your job over the deal. As a short call pilot, I can also use commuter policy. I can use a commuter policy actually for long call, short call, or a line holder. If I'm on the way to the airport and have a flat tire, that's a commuter policy. If I took the train to get to work, the train broke down, that's a commuter policy. Now again, I will be out the money for the trip, but my job is not in jeopardy because I couldn't get to work. So those are just two examples of a reserve assignment, long call and short call. Again, as a reserve pilot, all we know is what days we have to be available to the airline. We have no idea where we're going to go, if we're going to go, or anything. Like you could, especially on the 777, you could end up in London, South America, Asia, anywhere in the world. My bag is always packed. I have a generic pack I do on my reserve months, and if I'm going somewhere cold or hot, I can quickly adjust the bag and head out the door. My iPad's always charged. Generally speaking, most short call assignments, you get 2.5 to 3 hours minimum to get to the airport. So it's not like a rush and go thing. Now, at my previous airline, at my regional, we only had short call reserve. And you had 2 hours to be inside the airport ready to go. That was a different ball game back then, because even me being 10 miles away from the airport, 2 hours to be in the terminal, that's me leaving home about 45 minutes prior to report time, meaning an hour and 15 minutes from the notification time. As a short call pilot where I work now, I'm not required to be home, right? I can be over in Dallas, over in Fort Worth, and then look at the assignment and respond appropriately. I'm not required to be at home in my uniform ready to go. I can be 50 miles away and have an assignment in 3 hours, and I do the best I can to get there as quickly and safely as possible. I am credited per day. There's so many hours I'm credited per day. As a short call pilot, I am credited 76 hours a month. Long call, you get 73 hours a month at my current employer. But that is a different kind of video for me. Don't worry, I have a normal trip video coming up later this week. I appreciate your support. Like, comment, subscribe. Have a great day. And as always, thank you for stopping by.